So I came out to the garden this morning to do a little bit of de-weeding. As you can see, it needs de-weeded badly. That normally isn't an issue. I use kind of a special type of hoe, and I'll probably show you guys that someday. It just works really well, and you can pretty much de-weed an entire garden of this size in about a half an hour. But what I noticed was we are missing some leaves and some beans, and I also noticed we had some rabbits running around here last night, so I suspect they have been eating my beans. Now, last year I put an electric fence around the garden, and the electric fence was designed to keep small rodents out, and I didn't have any issues after I did that. So today we're going to put that electric fence back up, and we'll talk about how it works and why I chose it. The fence that I bought was made by the Premier One electric fence company. I will put a link down below. I'm not affiliated in any way. It just is a fence that works for me, and I'd like to share it with you guys. They're a little bit pricey. I don't quite remember how much this thing cost me, but if you look at the link down below, you can see current prices. The way it works is it has a couple of stakes on the bottom. So if we pull this up, you can see there are a couple of long stakes. It's designed just to shove into the ground and be a temporary fence for your garden, or for any other thing for that matter. It starts out with a small grid on the bottom, and it does have a stainless wire wrapped around all of these little grids, except for the very bottom row because it's laying on the ground. The reason for the smaller grid pattern at the bottom is for smaller animals such as rabbits, and as you can see, the grid gets bigger as you go up, and that's because deer and things don't need that small pattern. Now, this is only 5 feet. I do know deer can jump a 5-foot fence, but I will say I had deer tracks in my garden last year. After I put this fence up, I had no more deer issues, and I actually have a little path back here that deer go by every night and every morning. So I do have the deer traffic in my yard, and so far this has kept the deer out. You can buy taller fences if that is a concern. I am charging the fence with just a generic charger here. Actually, it's an American Farm Works. I wouldn't say generic, but it is an over-the-counter item that I purchased inside one of the tractor shops. It's probably a little bit large for this fence, but it's all they had in stock last year, and it does perform quite well. It is solar, so I don't have to worry about plugging it in. The company does recommend these fiberglass poles. You have to buy them separate. I put them in at an angle, and it just kind of helps strengthen up the corners. If you do end up with a fence post on the corner, the fence post is still a little bit weak, and you still need one of these glass rods to kind of support it. It's made of fiberglass, so it's non-conductive. Now, because it's an electric fence, you do need to make sure that you keep the grass blades off the charged part of the fence. Now, the bottom wire that is black, it is not charged. All the green wires above that are, and you can see I do have some spots where grass is touching. I will have to go back with a weed whacker or a hoe or something and clean it up a little bit. So there's my quick and dirty review of my Premier One electric fence. It worked really well for me last year, so I'm hoping to have the same results this year. The best part of this fence is it's totally portable, and you can take it down at the end of the season and put it back up next year when you need it. If you like these types of videos, please like and subscribe, and please share, because that's how we all learn. We learn from each other.